4 biblical reasons God allows you to encounter toxic people. The truth will shock you. Stop scrolling. We need to have a conversation, a real one, not the turn the other cheek Sunday school lesson that keeps you quiet, not the just forgive and forget nonsense that keeps you trapped. I'm talking about the burning question that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. You know the one. You look at the ceiling, tears running into your ears, and you ask God, why? Why did you let this person into my life? Why did you let them lie about me? Why did you let them drain my bank account, my sanity, and my joy? If you are good, and if you are powerful, why didn't you block the door? You feel punished. You feel like maybe you did something wrong. You think maybe you weren't praying hard enough, or maybe you are just a magnet for broken people, because you are broken. Stop it. That is a lie from the pit of hell. You didn't attract them because you are dark. You attracted them because you are bright. Moths don't fly into caves, they fly into flames. The truth is going to shock you. It might even offend your religious programming, but it will set you free. God didn't just allow it, He used it. He didn't sleep through your abuse. He was sharpening a weapon. You are not a victim of random bad luck. You are a threat to the enemy that had to be neutralized. And because the enemy couldn't destroy you from the outside, he sent a Trojan horse to destroy you from the inside. But here is the plot twist. God knew the horse was coming, and he opened the gate anyway. Why? Here are the 4 biblical reasons God allows toxic people, narcissists, and energy vampires into the lives of his chosen ones. Reason 1. The Saul anointing, to kill the people pleaser in you. Let's go back to the text. Look at David. Before he was king, he was a servant, and who did he serve? King Saul. Saul was the original narcissist, insecure, jealous, violent, two-faced. 1 minute he loves David, plays music with him, invites him to dinner. The next minute, he's throwing a spear at David's head. Sound familiar? That walking on eggshells feeling. That panic of wondering, which version of them am I getting today? The charmer or the monster? David did everything right. He played the harp. He won the wars. He respected authority. And what did he get for it? Betrayal. Why didn't God remove Saul? God had the power. He could have struck Saul dead with a heart attack. He could have exiled him. But God left Saul on the throne for years while David suffered. Why? Because David had a fatal flaw. David was too nice. He wanted everyone to like him. He wanted to be a good boy. If David had gone straight from the sheep pasture to the palace, he would have been a weak king. He would have been a king who needed validation. God used Saul to squeeze the people pleaser out of David. You cannot rule if you are addicted to approval. God let you meet the toxic person because you were addicted to being the nice one. You defined your worth by how much you could fix people. You thought if you just loved them enough, if you just explained yourself one more time, they would change. God had to let you see that some people cannot be fixed. He had to let you see the absolute depth of human evil, so you would stop casting your pearls before swine. You were too open. Your boundaries were too loose. You treated demons like house guests. The toxic person was the sandpaper, rough, painful, grating. But look at you now. You aren't a doormat anymore. You don't trust blindly anymore. You check the fruit. You watch the actions, not the words. Saul didn't kill David. Saul made David. The spear that missed your head didn't kill you. It severed your attachment to their opinion. You don't need them to like you anymore. You just need God to be with you. That is a freedom you couldn't have learned in a sermon. You had to learn it in the wilderness. Reason 2. The Judas Protocol. Exposure requires betrayal. Everybody wants a seat at the table. Everybody wants to be Jesus. But nobody wants a Judas. Here is the hard truth. You cannot reach your destiny without a Judas. Jesus knew Judas was a snake. He knew it from day one. He knew Judas was stealing from the money bag. He knew Judas had a critical spirit. Did Jesus kick him out? No. He washed his feet. He let him sit close. He fed him. Why? Because without Judas, there is no cross. Without the cross, there is no resurrection. Without the resurrection, there is no glory. Some of you are crying over a Judas right now. You are crying because they kissed you on the cheek while they sold you out for 30 pieces of silver. They smeared your name. They turned friends against you. They took your secrets you told them in confidence, and used them as ammunition. It hurts. I know it hurts. It feels like death. But let me tell you what is actually happening. God uses toxic people to clean house. There were people in your circle who were not loyal to you. They were only loyal to what you could do for them, but they were good actors, you couldn't see it. So God allowed a toxic person to enter the scene, and what happened? The toxic person started a smear campaign, and suddenly, all the fake friends revealed themselves, the people who believed the lies without asking you. Fake, the people who stayed silent while you were being attacked. Cowards. The toxic person acted like a magnet, pulling all the trash out of your life at once. God used them to prune your tree. If those people had stayed with you, they would have betrayed you at a higher level, when you had more to lose. God loved you too much to let you carry snakes into your next season, so he let the Judas kiss happen now. He cleared the room, he stripped you down to the foundation. Now, you look around and the circle is small, it's tiny, maybe it's just you and God. Good, that's not isolation, that's insulation. God is protecting your future. He removed the people who couldn't handle where you are going. The betrayal wasn't the end of your story, it was the exit door for people who were never meant to stay. Reason 3. The mirror of discernment, awakening your spiritual gift. Before this happened, you were spiritually asleep. Be honest, you thought everyone had a good heart. You thought if you were nice to people, they would be nice back. You thought the world was fair. You were naive. God has a call on your life that requires eagle vision. You cannot be a warrior if you can't spot the enemy in the tall grass. So God allowed you to encounter a master manipulator, someone who could quote the Bible while acting like the devil, someone who could cry on cue, someone who could gaslight you until you questioned your own name. Why? To turn on your spiritual radar. Now, you can spot a fake from a mile away. You walk into a room and you feel it. The hair on your arm stands up. You see the cold eyes behind the fake smile. You hear the hidden insult in the compliment. You have developed the gift of discernment of spirits. You earned this gift through trauma. You paid for this gift with your tears. The toxic person thought they were breaking you. Actually, they were training you. They were training you to trust your gut. Remember all those times your stomach knotted up, but your brain said, no, they are nice, give them a chance. And then you got burned. You learned. Now, when the Holy Spirit nudges you, you move. You don't apologize. You don't explain. You just block and delete. God needed you to stop looking at the outward appearance and start looking at the heart. He couldn't teach you that in a book. You had to experience the wolf in sheep's clothing up close. Now you know. The suit doesn't make the man. The title doesn't make the leader. The tears don't make the victim. You are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness now because you can see in the dark. Reason 4. The propulsion factor. Pain is the only thing that moves you. Let's get real about human nature. We stay where we are comfortable. Even if comfortable is mediocre, even if comfortable is beneath our potential, we stay in dead-end jobs, we stay in stagnant churches, we stay in friendships that have expired. Why? Because change is scary, the unknown is scary. So how does God get you to move when you are stuck in your comfort zone? He makes the nest uncomfortable, like an eagle that stirs up its nest. Deuteronomy 32:11. Do you know what a mother eagle does when it's time for the babies to fly? They are too comfortable in the soft nest. They don't want to leave. They are fat and happy. So she starts pulling out the soft feathers. She exposes the sharp sticks and thorns underneath. Suddenly, the place that was their home becomes a place of pain. They have to get out. The toxic person was the thorn in your nest. If they hadn't treated you so badly, you never would have left. You would have stayed in that relationship for 10 more years, withering away. You would have stayed in that job, underappreciated and underpaid. You would have stayed in that city, but the pain became unbearable, the disrespect became too loud to ignore. So you moved, you broke free, you launched out into the unknown because anything was better than staying there. And look where it pushed you. It pushed you closer to God. When you have no one else to talk to, you learn how to pray, real prayer, guttural prayer. It pushed you into your purpose. Many of you started businesses, wrote books, or started ministries because of what you went through. You took your pain and turned it into power. Joseph was pushed into his destiny by his toxic brothers. If they hadn't thrown him in the pit, he never would have gone to Egypt. If he never went to Egypt, he never would have become the prince who saved the world. His brothers meant it for evil. They wanted him dead. But God used their envy as a transportation system. The toxic person in your life was just your Uber driver. They thought they were taking you to your destruction. Actually, they were driving you to your palace. They dropped you off at your destiny, and they didn't even know it. The conclusion: it's time to stop playing the victim. Listen to me closely. I am not minimizing your pain. I know it was real. I know the nights you spent shaking. I know the PTSD triggers. But you cannot stay there. The season of mourning is over. The season of warfare is over. It is time for the season of ruling. You need to change your perspective. Stop asking, why me? And start saying, watch me. Stop looking at the toxic person as a giant that defeated you. Look at them as a gym weight that made you stronger. A diamond doesn't get polished by a feather. It gets polished by friction. You are a diamond. God allowed the friction not to crush you, but to reveal your brilliance. The enemy overplayed his hand. He thought if he sent enough trauma, you would curse God and die. He thought if he isolated you, you would give up. But he didn't know who you were. He didn't know that you are a seed. When you bury a seed, you don't kill it, you activate it. You were buried in dirt. You were buried in lies. You were buried in betrayal. And guess what? You grew. You are still standing. You are still sane. You still have a good heart, which is a miracle in itself. After all that, you still know how to love. That is your victory. They couldn't steal your light. So wipe your face. Stand up straight. The test is over. You passed. God trusted you with this battle because he knew you could win it. You have the scars. Now go get the crown.